Hello, hello, welcome everyone. We're just going to wait one more minute for people who might be still having connection into the session. So thanks so much for joining us today. We'll get started in just a minute. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody to our second session today with Spotted Horse. Thank you so much for joining or rejoining if you came to the first session. My name is Chant Chong. I'm the Executive Director of Diversity and Inclusion, and I'm really thrilled to be here today. And I am zooming in from the ancestral unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh. And right now my garden has started to have different colors and lots of different flowers and ferns are popping up. One of the things that we did last year was to plant an indigenous garden actually. And so all of the plants in our garden are all native to this area, and so I'm really excited to see it flourish and to attract the bees and the pollinators into onto this land where we call home. So, in honor of Indigenous History Month and last Friday's National Indigenous Peoples Day, I'm really thrilled that Spotted Horse has agreed to join us today for not one, not two, not three, but four different sessions. And I do want to give him a little bit of an introduction before he leads us through this session. Larry Spotted Horse Fenton is from Pavilion Indian Band in St'at'imc territory and resides in Kamloops along with his wife, Dakota Tomma, from the Skwlax Indian Band. He's connected to the Kamloops Indian Band from his adopted dad, John Leonard. And Spotted Horse is a really positive person. If you were in the first session, you'll know it just what a miracle that is, given his background. But he really just radiates positivity when he works with youth, children, people of all ages, to experience what he calls Aboriginal Pride and encourages everyone to push themselves to be better versions of themselves. And this second session is on the topic of motivational sharing. And there is a handout that Spotted Horse invites everybody to use. I am uploading that now. Some people may have it with them. And if you print it out, or even if you just download it, it is a Word document so that you can fill it out and follow along as he leads us through this second session. So over to you, Spotted Horse.
All right, boom. Like tip, stuk skaha request. Hello everyone, my name is Spotted Horse. Thank you for joining me. Um, if you joined me for the first session, a lot of the first session there was just my background. So basically getting to, I guess you say, know a little bit about my life story. So a lot of you have a little bit of an understanding of where I came from, what my life was all about, and most definitely, I truly enjoy being able to get the opportunity to share my story with all of you out there. And for today, for this session right here, some of the things of what I wanted to share with you guys is some of the teachings that I ended up learning. Some of it I learned on my own, some of it I learned with a lot of my mentors, whether if they were right in person or whether if they actually came through me through internet or something like that, right? But most definitely, a lot of the stuff that I had the opportunity of learning, I'm always so grateful for it. And some of the things of what I wanted to bring up for a lot of people out there, a lot of people have a challenging time on being able to, I guess you would say, get themselves motivated, get themselves doing something out there. Um, I guess you would say even seeing positive things happen for them. Um, for what I see in a lot of people, so they kind of tend to hold themselves back. And I actually just want to talk about that for a little bit right now on some of my challenges and going through that kind of stuff. One of my greatest and most powerful critics out there was actually myself. I was always, always, put myself down, always, telling myself that this couldn't happen, this couldn't be done, this couldn't happen, right? And not only that, I wasn't able to see anything happen for myself, um, just because of the life that I grew up in, right? The challenges that I had. And now that I'm actually, I survived my challenges that I went through, especially up here in my mind. I was actually taught that from my grandfather. For him, he always used to say, prayer is the most powerful thing in the world. And I believe that. I believe it to a point, and I still also believe that right here, your mind, your mind is the most powerful thing. And the reason why I say it's your mind is because there is a lot of different things that you can make happen in your life with just using your mind. Um, some of the things of that I want to actually, point out to you is a lot of the different ways that I look on making things happen in my life is actually putting it up here, putting it up here, putting it up here. And when I put it up here in my mind, I think it. On my business card that I do have a business card, right? Think positive thoughts, positive things happen, and they always do. And that was basically something that after I got over a lot of my challenges in life, I just kept thinking that. Think positive things do happen, and they definitely do. They always happen all the time. Um, for myself, I realized, and I actually even tested a lot of different things. I used to think so negative about so many different things out there. I used to think about what that person across the hall, that person across the street, the people in my class when I used to go to school, I used to always think about what they always thought about me. And it literally held me back so much. I was always thinking I had to, make sure I was trying to dress the best, trying to look the best. And meanwhile, it was actually just within myself that I actually had to be comfortable with. And after once I got comfortable with myself, man, oh man, things just started flourishing like crazy. Um, Not only that, I actually even learned how to make a lot of positive things actually happen in my life. Along with that story, at the very end of that story, a part of it is what I was going to talk about was right here, right now, today. A part of my story is basically what actually happened in my life. And I'm gonna be honest, brutally honest with a lot of you people out there. So, for what I'm doing today, I'm ever so grateful to be able to have it in my life and be able to have this happen in my life. But at the same time, I went through a lot to actually get here and to be here with you guys today. So, literally, I used to work with Secwepemc Child and Family Services. I worked with them for about 3 years. So, um, yeah, it was truly amazing to be able to be there, be able to do a lot of the things I got to do. And then I ended up going through some challenges there. And I ended up leaving the agency. And then when I left the agency, so, I found myself thinking about what I was going to do. And I started working on my own stuff. And when I started working on my own stuff, on my own, all of this stuff, motivational stuff, I went through tons of challenges while I was doing this because literally when you're not working, you're on EI, right? So basically I was actually on EI for, oh man, yeah, ever since I was actually finished with the company, and literally talk about challenging to actually be able to live off of that. But I was actually typing just about like literally 12 hours a day to be here today to be able to talk about this. And then when I did that, some of my challenges that came along the way, I literally ended up losing my truck in the process. I pretty well just about lost my house, a place to live. But you know what? I sat there and I had it up here. I had it up here. No matter what was actually happening in my life, no matter what was happening around me, I knew up here what I still had to do, what I still had to make happen, and even happen today. And I'm truly grateful for this opportunity to be able to be in front of you guys today to be able to explain this. So, some people always think that no matter what comes in your life, that it's going to start knocking you down and it's going to start making it challenging for you in your life. But if you have that up here, you can make anything happen that you want to happen in your life. And most definitely, it actually happened for me to be able to be here today and be able to speak in front of you guys. All the challenges that I've gone through to be able to be here today, to be able to make this happen. And I am ever so grateful for it to be in my life. Some of the things that I've actually done along the way, um, Ishan shared with you guys. The handout was for visions and goals. Oh man, talk about an amazing process that I actually ended up. I actually created that. I actually went through that myself, and I wrote everything down. I wrote everything down, and I kept that and I hung onto that piece of paper. And literally, it had all my goals on there. It had all my goals on there for myself. It had all my goals on there for myself and my partner. It had all my goals on there for myself and my family, for what I actually want to see with them. Because those are the people that I'm closest to. Those are people that are really close with me. So when things happen for me, things happen for my partner, things happen for my family. And man, is it ever so amazing when it happens. So what I suggest for a lot of you out there, if you guys actually do have a lot of different visions and goals out there, man, oh man, using using your using your mind. Oh, it is so powerful to be able to actually think about some of the things that you want. And I'm going to share this with you really quick. I ended up using this at one point in time. I was working a labor job, and I actually sat there and I kind of thought of, I was like, man, I'm always the one that's always getting a coffee for me and my buddy. And this was actually out on the job site. And so, it was actually taught to me, if you use your mind for a lot of the things that you want in your life, it will happen. It will happen. And I sat there and I thought, okay, well, you know what? I don't know. I didn't really believe it at the beginning. I just kind of shrugged it off. I said, yeah, life is life, right? Every day is every day. A Monday is a Monday. A Tuesday is a Tuesday. A Wednesday is a Wednesday. A Thursday is, right? And so on and so forth. And so, with everybody out there, a Monday is what? Oh, it's the beginning of the week. It's a first start. Oh, I don't know. Mondays are okay. Yeah, they're fine. And then all of a sudden you guys get to Fridays and everyone's like, woo, Friday. Yes, it is here, man. I can't believe it. It's a beautiful day, the sun's out and we get to have the weekend with ourselves and with our family, right? But putting it out there, being honest for myself, to me, every day feels like a Friday. Every day feels like a blessing. Every day feels like, man, it is literally so beautiful outside. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. So, and it necessarily doesn't have to do with any of the weather that is out there. Even if it is cloudy out there, even if it is rainy out there, I am ever so grateful to have that in my life because it makes a huge difference. It makes those sunny days a lot more brighter when I actually have cloud on one day, right? And I have rain on the other. But then after, once it's all gone, man, do I feel so much more better getting that vitamin D with a bright sunny day. And and then when going back to that story, when I kept thinking about getting my buddy a coffee every single day, and this is when I used to drink coffee, I sat there and I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if he's going to bring me a coffee. I'm going to use my mind and I'm going to put it out there. This is what I want. And I kept saying the coffee that I wanted, right? I wanted a large double double, a large double double, a large double double, right? And I kept thinking about thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it. I went to work and I went into our trailer and I sat down and I sat there and I was like, oh man, he's usually always expecting me to bring a coffee. So I kind of thought, I was like, oh, well, we can just go across the street. I'll go and I'll buy us a coffee if he doesn't bring us one, right? So I just left it. And then sure enough, he sat there and he was banging on the door. And I was like, what the hell? How come he just doesn't come in, right? So I sat there and I went and I opened up the door. And when I opened up the door to our office there, he sat there and he had two hands full of coffees right there. And he was like, guess what, buddy? I bought us coffees. I was like, oh my God. I literally could not believe that moment that it actually literally happened right then and there. When I put my mind to it and I thought about it so strong that it actually came into my life. And when that happened, man, I was like, literally, I was emotional because it actually happened. And I couldn't believe how powerful that was. So I sat there and I thought, man, can I start making this happen for the rest of my life, for everything that I want in my life? So I start literally putting it out there for a lot of the things that I want in my life, that I want to see happen in my life. And literally things start happening the way that I actually wanted, right? And I'm going to be honest with you guys, right? So, with the jobs that I was getting before, I was like, I want to do this. I want to work with people and I want to be able to do this and I want to be able to do that. And I was putting it out there as much as I could for what I wanted in my life. And it started happening. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, here I am. I'm doing this. I'm not working labor jobs anymore. I'm not, so, getting exhaustedly body tired and so, getting all bumped up, bruised up, and stuff like that, and getting dirty and having a shower. And I was like, I'm really starting to like this. I'm really starting to love. Wow, this is amazing. That a lot of this stuff is actually coming into my life. And I couldn't believe a lot of the things that I wanted to do. Some of the things were I had to actually get out there and I had to actually prove to myself that I can do a lot in my life. I pushed myself to actually get a little bit more education, get a little bit more mindset up here. So I got a little bit more education. I learned a little bit more out there about myself. And when I started doing that, I started realizing that anything was possible. So I don't know if any of you out there actually know, so some of the things that I'm going to talk about of what I've learned from. I went through choices, I went through connections, I went through life skills, and lo and behold, I learned another amazing one from The Secret. And a lot of that ends up having to be a part of what I actually use every single day. But I use it in a totally different way, and I use a lot of it for myself to be able to actually be able to come up and make a lot of these things happen. And I'm like, man, oh man, having this is truly amazing to have in my life. And I started creating a lot of different things out there in my life. And when I started writing things down on a piece of paper for myself, for what I wanted in my life, they actually came true. The beautiful partner that I have, my beautiful wife, oh man, I am ever so grateful to have her in my life. That was something I ended up sitting there, I ended up putting in my mind because I went through two very tragic separations in my life, right? Two long term. They were long term relationships, and I ended up separating, going through a lot of different challenges with that. My mentor Rob Dennis actually really helped me along the way when I went through those challenges, and he actually taught me a lot about myself, and not only learning the positivity of vision, being able to see things out there for myself. I had to work a lot on myself first. And when I did a lot of this work on myself, one of them was that I had to learn to love myself. And I sat there and I thought, so, he came to me and he told me, this is what you got to do for yourself. This is what you got to do to start your life over. And I was like, wow. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I love myself already. I love myself. And he sat there and he goes, do you really? I said, yeah, of course I do. Of course I do. He goes, right now, what I want you to do is I want you to get up, go to that bathroom, look in the mirror and say, I love you. That's no problem. I got up, went to the bathroom, and I looked in the mirror. And when I looked in the mirror, I sat there and I looked at myself and I was like, I couldn't even I only got the word I out, and just tears started coming down my face. I started crying and I was like, oh man, I can't believe this is happening. I can't, man. I feel good about myself every day though. I feel really good who I am. And I sat there and I went and I talked to him. He goes, it's because you haven't exactly learned to love yourself yet. You've been always putting so much out there for a lot of your family, a lot of your friends. You got to start looking after number one. You got to look after yourself. You can't look after anybody unless you look after yourself. I was like, wow, I didn't think about it that way. He goes, if you ever think about it this way, if you think about just, so at times when, so some of those stewardess in the plane, when you catch a plane, right? And then they all of a sudden they talk about the mask, right? When you got to put on that mask, they sit there and they say, well, you got to put your own mask on first before you try and save your other family members, right? And I was like, wow, I never ever thought about it that way. And it's so true. If I don't look after myself first, I can't look after my family. And my family is the one that means the most to me. So I started learning how to look after myself in a very good way. Started learning a lot of different things out there from a lot of the mentors that I have, a lot of the teachers that taught me a lot of different things that I know today. And then when that came about, I started loving myself a lot more. Started caring about myself. I started really loving the way I look every single day. And with a lot of the different things I do, I sat there and I thought, okay, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to start doing this. And that's when I finally really started pushing out there for a lot of different things that I want. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This right here, this recording, this video that we're doing, this is one of them. Man, it's an awesome, beautiful start to my business, to what I'm doing. And I'm ever so grateful to have it in my life. And I'm like, yes, man, here it is. Here it is. I was putting it out there. I knew what I wanted. At the very beginning, I was always thinking, how am I going to do this? Right? Because I was honest with you guys. I let you guys know that. So, my vehicle is gone now. And I'm like, how am I going to start traveling if I can't travel? And I was like, you know what? I would love it to be that my first one ended up being on Zoom. And here we are today. We are here today on Zoom and we're doing this today. And I'm ever so grateful for it. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. And it is truly amazing for what you could actually put your mind through, for what you could use your mind with. So, um, I have so many other different goals out there and I use it along the way and I make a lot of different things happen in my life. I have a lot of gratitude for a lot of the things that I've gone through. Um, there's a lot of people out there that I've connected with that I've ended up, so, getting some shared time with. And they shared some time with some of their stories in their life with me. And I was ever so grateful to be able to hear some of those stories and a lot of those things that happen out there in life, right? And I was like, wow, man, oh man, this is so amazing that you're actually sharing this with me. Because right now, so, in my life, for what I'm going through, I could definitely use some of this in my life. And I know there's other people out there that could definitely use this. He was like, yes, definitely. Use it. Put it out there. Put it out there. Put it out there for all these people to hear. Because the more and more people at least you're able to get to, the more and more people start changing up here. That at one point in time was so negative. Used to always think negative, bad thoughts about a lot of different things. I remember even when I was growing up about a lot of my thoughts. I used to always sit there and always think that, oh man, only rich people get richer. Only this person gets that. Oh man, only if I was a different nationality, right? I would have this life. Only if I was, so if I had this, if I had the smarts, if I went to school, if I had this, I know things will come into my life if I had this. And then after a while, I started thinking about all that stuff that I was doing. So, I was always saying, oh, what about me? What about me? What about my life? What about my things? What about this? Doing a lot of pity on myself. Instead, I was like, wow, why? Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Put it out there for what you really want in life. Put it out there. Put it out there in a good way. And not only that, think about those other people that you were thinking about in a wrong way, in a bad way. Think good thoughts about them, because when you think good thoughts about those people, good things do come your way. So I started thinking really good thoughts about this person, about that person, about this person. And then next thing you know, doors start opening up, ways start coming through, right? And I started getting contacted about this and about that and about this. And then after a while, I started making a lot more stronger connections. And then I met my brother. I got a very awesome brother out there, Thomas Terry, an amazing, amazing man when I actually when we crossed paths. And he's actually a being honest, I think he's probably a distant relative down the road somewhere. But most definitely, man, we felt like brothers right after we first connected. And we've been actually, so hanging out ever since, and we've been very close. And then not only that, a lot of his work that he was doing, he was needing certain support. I was actually giving him that support. And then when I needed support, I would call him and I would talk to him. And then he would give me support. And then not only through that, he was actually very, very into a lot of our sacred stuff that we do, a lot of our sacred teachings out there. And I was ever so blessed to actually end up being a part of it. He actually sat there and he started asking me at the very beginning, did you want to come and sing? Come and sing for us. And I was like, go and sing for you. Go and sing for you for what? What are you doing? Right? And I didn't understand some of the things that he was doing. Then he was like, uh, uh, we're bear dancers. I was like, wow, that's amazing. That's truly amazing. I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, most definitely. Right. I used to see bear dancers around there all the time and see them all around. And I got to know some of them. I got to know a lot of them. And then during that time, this actually just happened very recently. and I'm going to share it with some of you guys out there. I ended up, so throughout all the time, all the effort that I put into singing for these bears that are out there, I was grateful to actually receive this. I was actually gifted a bear myself, and I was ever so grateful to be able to receive that and be able to be a part of those guys there. It was a truly an amazing, amazing, amazing experience to be able to experience that and be a part of it now. Most definitely, right? So a lot of things out there when you actually put good thoughts out there from your mind, not just good thoughts, amazing thoughts, great thoughts, right? Awesome thoughts. Man, oh man, I love using the word awesome. And I use the word awesome as much as I can in a lot of the things that I do. So, when I go out there and I go out and I meet people, and right off the bat, somebody always, so, I shake somebody's hand and say, "Hey, how's it going? How you doing?" Right? And then they let me know how they're doing. And a lot of the response all the time after that is they end up asking me how I'm doing. And I go, "I'm doing awesome." Oh man, the first time I actually said that, first time I actually used that, talk about ever so powerful. And when I started using that and started making it a part of my life, oh man, it changed a lot of different people's lives out there, a lot of people's different views of life out there. Because when they actually sit there and they actually meet somebody, oh, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. I'm doing all right, right? And when I use the word awesome, a lot of people start feeling the vibrations from me. And they're like, wow, man, is that ever so good to have in your life? I was like, right, I know. I just love it. I love being able to be this way. I love being able to actually think good thoughts about a lot of people, a lot of different situations that happen out there in my life. And I'm ever so grateful to have this opportunity to be here today. And it doesn't matter where I'm at. I'm always grateful to have that opportunity, that learning, that lesson, right? And then the more and more I put out all this stuff out there from here, more and more things happen in my life. One of the things that actually happened in my life, I sat there and I was like, okay, well, this is going to be a part of it right here. I'm going to create myself what I started doing the vision and goal writing. I start writing down everything that I wanted. And then I started doing that. Then I started thinking, well, if I don't see it, can it happen? I was like, man, now I got to create a vision board. I know I wrote it down, but I want to be able to actually see it for myself. I could see it in my mind, but sometimes when I go through challenges in my life, I don't exactly see it anymore because it's gone away. So I got to put it out there and make myself a vision board. So I started creating myself a vision board, and I created myself a very awesome vision board of a lot of the things that I wanted in my life. And when I started doing it, I couldn't believe I sat there and I had this one house up there. And I was like, man, I seen this picture and I seen it. It was one of the very beautiful homes here in Kamloops. I'm going to cut this out. This is what I want. I want this in my life. I want to be able to have this right here. And I sat there and I thought, okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna put it on there anyway. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but of course it's up here. I'm just thinking good thoughts about everything that happens in my life. And sure enough, lo and behold, I sit there and I get a call to actually go and have a look at the house. And somebody ended up asking me, well, do you want this house? I was like, yes, 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 I do. I was like, wow, man, what an amazing thing to happen in my life. To be able to have something, literally, something I wrote down on a piece of paper, something I actually put out there on a vision board, to be able to see it, to be able to see that it happened, to be able to actually make this happen in my life. I was like, man, I'm ever so grateful for this opportunity. And I was like, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I got to start sharing this story with a lot of people that I know out there so that they can see that a lot of this stuff if you actually just use the powerfulest thing that you have in your body is your mind. And if you can actually put it to work, things will happen in your life. Believe me, they've happened in my life. Things have happened. There's phenomenal things that have happened in my life, and I'm ever so grateful for it because I started putting a lot of positivity out there and a lot of the different things that I get the opportunity of doing. And a lot of the different people that I'm be able to be out there and be able to reach on an everyday basis, I'm ever so grateful for that. I'm ever so grateful for everything that I see, right? And I sit there and I think about this and I think about ah a lot of the things that come into my life. There's a lot of things that I was thinking at one point in time in my life years ago before I even got into working with people. And now it's all finally blooming. It's all finally happening. It's all finally coming out. And I'm like, yes, here it is. This is happening. It is happening today. And I'm making these things happen because I'm using my mind. And not only that, keeping my mind clear, keeping it in a good way. So, for myself, I say a lot of prayers, and I say a lot of prayers of for everything that I come across, and I say prayers for people that ask for prayers as well, and it's always gives me a very good feeling in my heart. So not only that, I have I have a few other things that I'd actually love to share with you. So some of the things that I actually ended up putting together was I thought about this for a while, and so I thought about different people out there. So some people sit there and they think about, well, this is you. You're just starting on your journey, right? What about some of the people that are way up there, that are way up there? And my main purpose why I actually really started a lot of this stuff was actually a lot because of a lot of our people out there were suffering, we're going through challenges, we're thinking bad thoughts, thinking suicidal thoughts, right? And that's one of the main reasons why I actually started doing some of this stuff. And I sat there and I thought, I was like, you know what? Yeah, just to go and prove that even some of these people out there that have made it really successful in their time, that they've actually gone through some challenges as well in their life, and they made it to where they actually want to be in their life as well, or they've made at least one of their goals come true, right? And this video that I created, because I sat there and I was like looking for something that I could possibly share, and I started coming across, I was thinking famous people that overcome challenges. So I start looking that up and I actually came across this one video. And actually I'm going to share both videos with you. I see that we're kind of coming down on time, but I'm going to actually see if I could share both these videos with you so that you guys can be able to see the difference between both videos. One is actually where I actually ended up where I got the idea from. And I was like, wow, we need something like that. We need something like that for some people that are Indigenous, for people that are Aboriginal, for people that are First Nations, people that are Native. And that's another thing that I actually like to talk about and touch upon right there, is that there's people out there that don't like the word Aboriginal because of the word ab, abscess tooth, ab this, ab that, right? And they don't like using that word. A lot of people don't like the First Nations. A lot of people don't like Native. With me, it is a part of our story. It is a part of who we are. And no matter what, it's just who we are. It's who we become over time. Whether if we were Aboriginal, whether if we were First Nations, whether if we were Native, right? And for me, it would be Galmuk or Uchimiuch, right? Galmuk in Secwepemc, Uchimiuch in St'at'imc. But yes, most definitely, right? I'm always ever so grateful. And it's a time, because if we take that away, we take that word away, then basically from there, that's taken a part of our past away. But anyways, so we're going to get back on, and I'm actually going to share this video with you guys here. And I do have another video to share as well. So this one, get this one started right here. Just give me a second. Right here. Here we go. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to just ask Ishant if she can just let me know if she could hear this. It'll be great. You could just give me a thumbs up. There we go. There we go. So I got that one, and I got so inspired by basically being able to see that. And I sat there and I thought, I was like, wow, we got a lot of amazing talent out there. It's actually, so it's at the very beginning. And so I did a lot of research, and I created this, and I created this myself. And I'm going to share this one with you guys as well. Okay, give me a second here. Get it at the start. And here. know. So some of the things that that I would actually like to bring up for both those videos, man, oh man, you can go through tons of challenges in your life, and no matter what you go through, you can always turn it around and actually be able to see a lot more positive light for yourself, a lot more positive life, and make things happen for yourself right from almost nothing. Some people actually out there actually literally feel like they have nothing. But most definitely, no matter what, when you feel like you have nothing, there's always something that you always have, no matter what. But yes, I would like to kind of leave that with you guys. It's been truly amazing. That video, I actually made that one probably, I think that was probably about 5 years ago. And I was actually hoping to work on it some more and change some things with it. And I sat there and I was like, oh, I'll just leave it. I keep working on this all the time, and I'm just gonna make it a lot more worse than it is. And then I watch it today, and I'm like, wow, I actually did. Wow, that's pretty amazing. I can't believe I made that. But yeah, I I was always thinking about First Nations, Aboriginals, Indigenous people that actually got to where they're at because of their visions and goals and their thoughts, right? And they made it not just because of because of mom and dad, not because they lived a wealthy life. They went through challenges just like you and I, and most definitely anybody can make it as long as you use your mind and put your mind to it. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Yes.
so much, Spotted Horse. Cook's Jam. I want to open it up to anybody who wants to ask Spotted Horse some questions. If you want to drop your question into the chat, we'll make sure that gets asked. One thing I do wonder, Spotted Horse, and I really just appreciate this theme that you keep coming back to of things are sometimes dark and rainy and cloudy, but the sunshine comes out and you get to enjoy that and appreciate that. And it sounds like, the theme of for those videos as well, right? That people have dark moments and they have failures. And then, it comes out the other end. And I guess my question is really what are some of the ways that you keep yourself motivated through those dark times, right? And like, or are there practices or strategies that you can share about, if it just sometimes it looks like it's really not gonna the rain isn't gonna stop, and we don't know where the sun is, and how do you keep yourself going to come out the other side?
Oh, most definitely, man. Earlier when I was talking about, so, I went through choices, went through connections, went through, right, life skills and stuff like that. And when I went through them, they actually provided me with some tools. Don't get me wrong, they were great tools. They're amazing. They truly helped me to get to where I'm at today. But I sat there and, after a while, so, I think it was like 5 years after I was done, somebody came up to me and asked me, use your tools. What were your tools? Do you remember your tools? When I was going through a challenging part in my life, and I was like, yeah, I don't remember. I was like, wow. And then I started thinking, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to try and create something that you can use on a daily basis. You can use every single day. And it goes right back to that saying of what I was saying before when I sit there and I go up and I introduce myself to somebody and I say that I'm awesome. And I do a lot of it at the very beginning. I was faking it until I made it. And then I use that on an everyday basis to bring myself up. And when I start bringing myself up higher and higher and higher, and I feel as great as I do today, I feel amazing. I feel awesome. I feel great every single day, that when there's a challenge that comes into my life, I'm way up here. And then all of a sudden, like, I come down to about here when that challenge comes into my life. And I'm like, now I can think a lot more smarter. I can think about some of the things that I need to do to get done. Instead, if I was just around here, I was saying I was okay, I'm fine, I'm all right. I'm always right here. Something tragic happens in my life, I go down here. I all of a sudden, I my life's over. I'm broken. I'm busted. I'm no good. I'm literally emotional. I'm crying every single day. I'm hurt. I'm angry at the same time. And then meanwhile, I sat there and when I used to go through those things, I was like, how can I actually try and make sure I don't get so emotional about so many different things? I don't get so angry. I don't get so mad. So I sat there and I started using that. I started creating it to make it happen every single day. And I was like, yes, I started looking in the awesome. Looking in the mirror and saying, I'm awesome. You, I love you. You're beautiful, no matter what, inside and out. You're going to have an amazing day. And then I started using that every single day. I start going out there, start telling people that every single day. And when people around me, they feel the radiation, right? Right from just how I feel, how I walk down the street. People are like, "Whoa, holy man, you look like you're in a really good mood." I was like, "Yeah, I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling beautiful today. It's a beautiful day out here. It's great. I'm feeling awesome." Right? And they're like, "Wow, how do you feel like that every day?" I had to do a lot of work, learn to love myself first, and then start fake till you make it, right? Push yourself up there as much as you can. And then when you learn about that, most definitely it is grateful and then you start having clearer thoughts on what you want in your life, or visions and goals as well. Yes.
Mm. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Yeah, no, I really appreciate that
Yes.
lesson of starting with yourself first and
Yes.
looking inward for you can't have other people help you if you're not willing to help yourself, right? So,
Yes,
yeah.
that's true. That is
Mhm.
true. That is very true. Yes, most definitely. It actually took a long time for myself to actually learn about myself because, of course, so being a teenager, when just I'm pretty sure a lot of people, other people went through this. No, I already know. I already know. I don't need you. No, I'm sorry. I already know it, right? Meanwhile, I didn't know it. And I had to go through those lessons and had to learn different things about how to do things differently and actually see things from a different view. And most definitely, it's helped me so much for today, for being where I'm at today. Never so grateful for that as well. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. All these different paths that we take that lead us to where we are today.
Right?
Some of them I think we chose, some of them we may not have chosen, right? We might have chosen
Yes.
an easier path in many ways. Do you feel like that's a um if there are two roads that one looks
Oh man.
harder and one looks easier, do you feel called to one or another, or do you feel like, well, I take whatever like happens, whatever the context is at the moment, or when you're at those crossroads, like how do
Yeah.
you make those decisions, Spotted Horse?
Oh man. Well, when I make certain decisions like that, oh man, everything comes into play, right? Everything I think about all the work that I've done previously. I think about, of course, it's always about my family, right?
Mm.
But I got to think about myself first, all the work that I've done to get to where I'm at. And then after when I think about that, then of course, that work, that part of that work is my family as well. Working with my family, working with my friends, working with one of the mentors always says, you are who's around you, right? You are when you surround yourself with very positive, loving people, caring people, that's who you are. But when you surround yourself with negative people that look at nothing but negative every single day, man, that's who you're going to be. So I sat there and I thought about that. I was like, yes. And then when those crossroads come into play for life, oh man. I sit there and I think, well, this is about me. This, I know I can't definitely touch that side. I can't go there. It's because of where my heart is, where my mind is. And it took a long time. I'm being honest. It did take a long time to get here today, but I'm ever so grateful for it. It takes a long time. Not everybody can just come out and just all of a sudden say, you know what? It's an amazing day. It's awesome. But if they at least start, a little start is a lot better than not doing anything at all. Most definitely. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. I really appreciate your time and hope that you'll join us for one of the other sessions. We've got two more to go, one at 3 o'clock and then one at 7 o'clock tonight. So Cook's Jam to you, Spotted Horse, and I will see you soon.
Yes,
Take care,
Cookstrom.
everybody.
Cookstrom. Thank you very much.